March 17th. Council President, council members, I request to go out of order to address on page 35, items 8A through D are appointments to the Affirmative Action Review Council. A is Ms. Mamie O'Shea Bansu. Are you in the audience? Please step to the microphone. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Osei Bonsu.
Yes,
Pronounce
that's
it right?
correct. Good morning.
Morning. You have been, your name has been submitted by the mayor to an appointment of the Affirmative Action Review Council. Do you have an opening statement you want to make?
I will be fully honest. I was brought in this morning or told about it, wasn't given
I hate
full
to say, I don't know why I
information.
can't-
Can you hear me?
If you hold it up a little bit, thank you. Yeah,
Okay, can you hear me?
that's much better.
Okay. Now, saying that I wasn't given as much information about this meeting, unfortunately. I was told to show up here after my name was given to the superintendent. I do not have an opening statement, but I do look forward to being part of the board, of the council, representing the Board of Education.
Well, thank you. Any questions from the council? All right, hearing none, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
B is Rocco Lepore.
Good morning, Mr. Lepore. Your name has been submitted by the mayor for an appointment to the Affirmative Action Review Council. Do you have an opening statement you'd like to make?
I wasn't prepared. I just want to say thank you very much for giving me this opportunity as a union representative for the Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council Carpenters with our apprenticeships. This is a great opportunity to be part of this. The president of the Essex County Building Trades. I'm on a CTE board for Newark Barringer High School, West Orange, Belleville. I just think there's a lot of things that I could add to the board. I'm very appreciative and thank you.
Well, thank you. Any question, Councilman?
Yeah, it was just, I'm the one who brought Rocco on board to the committee, so I'm glad that, he's still here representing the unions. So congratulations.
Thank you, Councilman.
All right, thank you. Anything? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
C is Asado Bay Barra.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And I'll say it again. I keep saying your name has been submitted by the mayor for an appointment to the Affirmative Action Review Council. You have an opening statement or remarks you'd like to make?
My name's Isato Bay Barra. Thank you very much for inviting me to address this body. I have been working for the past 20 years as the Director of Workforce Strategies and Initiatives with the McKissick organization. And in that, I've learned a lot about our communities. And I like what I see in Newark and look forward to learning more and being able to impart whatever information I have around workforce and local hiring specifically.
Thank you. Any questions, comments from the council? Hearing none, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And D is Amarilis Olivo Maccabee.
Good morning. You've been selected recommended by the mayor for an appointment to the Affirmative Action Review Council. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yes, good morning.
You can pull the mic down so we can, there you go.
My name is Amarilis Olivo Maccabee. I work as an educator at the Essex County Schools of Technology as the Cooperative Education Coordinator. I also serve as the co-chair for the Youth Investment Council for the City of Newark. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve and work with some of my colleagues like Mr. Lepore and Mrs. Satu on this council.
Thank you. Is there anything from the council? Hearing none, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Council President, council members, we are on page 4 of the agenda. Item 5 is reports and recommendations of city officers, boards, and commissions.
Questions from the council? Next item.
Ordinances on public hearing, second reading, and final passage. 6P SFA is an ordinance amending multi-way stop intersections by designating 18th Avenue and South 13th Street as a multi-way stop sign intersection in the South Ward, sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilman Kelly.
Any questions from the council? Here, next item.
Resolutions. 7R1A through C are temporary emergency appropriations. A is to purchase body armor for the Newark Department of Public Safety citywide. B is to obtain funding for the Newark Tree Canopy Initiative. And C is the Sustainable Jersey PSC&G Partnership Program Staffing and Community Engagement Grant Program. Offers funding to make progress toward reducing the community's energy use and greenhouse gas emissions.
Any questions from the council on those? Councilman
Yeah, I'd
Silva.
like to be known as a sponsor for 1A, please.
I'll second.
1A sponsored by Councilman Silva, second by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
Duly noted.
Anything else from the council? All right, next item.
D is external transfer reserve funds to pay outstanding obligations.
Questions from the council? Next item.
E through G are state contracts. E is to purchase office furniture for various city departments. F is radio communications equipment and accessories. And G is to purchase police sirens, mounts, bracket speakers, additional accessories, and ancillary installation services.
Any questions from the council? I just have one question. On 7R1F, if we could just get an explanation of the increase. As long as we get it before tomorrow's meeting, I'd appreciate it. Anything else from the council? Next item.
H is RFP competitive contracting to provide operation of a restaurant concession at Military Park.
Questions from the council? Well, I will say I like the food, so pound cake is great. If you all don't stop by, you better get some. Next item.
I is an extension of emergency contract to extend the emergency contract for the reconstruction of the Bay Floor Fire Engine 5.
Questions from the council?
Yeah, just a question on when this job is planned to be completed. Somebody's here from engineering. And the firehouse to be open.
All right, Director Adams is coming up.
Good morning.
Morning.
James Adams, Interim Director of Engineering for the City of Newark. The delay had to do with the concrete slab that was poured. We had to wait for the 28-day strength so it would obtain its structural capacity. We anticipate that all this work is going to be done by the end of this month.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you. Next item. Next item.
J and K are contracts with grant recipients to provide community-based violence intervention and prevention in youth mentoring and/or safe passage. J is for the Ironbound Community Corporation, and K is for Leaders for Life Incorporated.
Any questions from the council?
And Mr. Chair, I sponsor K.
Sponsored by Councilman, let's try this again. Sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilman Kelly. Any other questions? Sorry, next item.
L is application and acceptance for grant funds to prepare a historical preservation plan for the rehabilitation and restoration of the interior of City Hall.
Questions from the council? Definitely appreciate this being done. Next item.
7R2A through F are private sales and redevelopment. A is new construction of a 3.5-story residential building, all units designated to households earning 60 to 80% of area median income.
Questions from the council? Is Mr. Pichardo here? All right, next item.
B is to rehabilitate the property into a tailoring shop offering customized tailor services and a training space for youth to learn tailoring, design, and entrepreneurship skills in the South Ward.
The chair would like to sponsor that item.
Sponsored by Councilman Council, second by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree. Next item.
C is rehabilitate single-family home to be owner-occupied in the South Ward.
Chair, I want to sponsor this item.
All right, I'll second this.
Second that.
I'll second this one.
He said his.
I'll second it.
Everybody.
President got that one.
Council Crump. Next item.
D is new construction of a two-family home to be rented to Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher participants in the South Ward.
Chair, want to defer that item, please?
All right. Motion to defer. Defer it as a whole. Is that okay, Councilman? Defer it as a whole?
Fine with it.
Okay.
Duly noted.
Next.
E is new construction of two residential homes consisting of one four-family home and one three-family home, both to be sold at market rate in the South and West Wards.
We want to defer this.
Yes.
Okay.
Defer as a whole.
Next item. Defer. Defer. As a whole.
Thank you. F is new construction of three two-family and three-family homes to rent at or below market rate in the South and West Wards.
Defer as well. So we'll defer this one too as a whole.
Duly noted. G is approving assignment of an agreement to the assignment of the financial agreement from the Cottage Place to Cottage Place Apartments for an affordable housing project.
Can we get someone from Economic and Housing Development to just give a brief explanation on this one?
Good morning, Council. Brandy Daniel,
Good morning.
Legislative Coordinator, Economic and Housing Development. This particular item is the current owner of this development is actually selling ownership to another entity. They also have HMFA funding. And in order for the HMFA funding to be considered to be switched over, they need to have this approved first. And they do have a deadline of March the 20th to get this done due to the state deadline.
And nothing is changing in terms of the affordable housing?
No, sir, it will still be an affordable building.
Okay. Any questions from the council? Thank you, Ms. Daniel.
You're welcome.
Next item.
7R3A is a bid contract to award Broad Street Phase 2 pedestrian safety improvements.
Questions from the council? Hearing none. Next item.
7R5A is amending application acceptance of additional grant funds, amending public health preparedness links 2026 grant.
Can we ask Director Osbrook to come up and give a brief explanation on it? Thank you. And also, what is, just for the public, what is the public health emergency preparedness? That may have been too vague, but.
Good morning, Caitlin Osbrook, Director
Morning.
for the Department of Health. This LINKS grant will strengthen the health department's ability to prepare for, mitigate, and respond to public health emergencies throughout the year. It supports staff training, CPR certification, functional exercises, and emergency drills to enhance readiness and rapid response. The grant also enables timely distribution of public health alerts and notifications to healthcare providers, hospitals, and other health professionals throughout the city. And it supports purchases of PPE and distribution of PPE to necessary entities across the city.
Thank you. Any questions from the council? Hearing none. Thank you very much, Director. Next item.
B is contract with subrecipient to provide housing assistance and supportive services to persons with HIV/AIDS, the YMCA.
Questions from the council? Next item.
7R6A through E are settlements for executive session.
Next.
F is a professional service contract to provide legal services concerning bond counsel services.
Anything from the council? Next item.
7R8A is a reappointment to the Central Planning Board as a council representative, Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
You sure you want it? Next item.
B is a ceremonial street designation for Marshall E. Cooper, sponsored by Councilman Quintana.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
Duly noted. C is recognizing and commending resolutions, and D is expressing profound sorrow and regret.
Next.
7R9A is an appointment of a special police officer, a Newark resident.
Any questions? Next item.
B and C are acceptance of grant funds. B is for the drunk driving enforcement, and C is for body armor for police officers.
Any questions? Next item.
7R12A through C are intergovernmental agreements to provide a temporary construction easement agreement for the state construction project on Route 23.
Questions from the council? Next item.
Communications A through D were dealt with earlier. We are on page 36. Item 8E is a reappointment to the Affirmative Action Review Council, Dosu Kamuso.
Questions from the council? Next item.
F is an ordinance amending special improvement districts to revise terminology and clarify collection and administration of the Tourism Improvement District license fee.
Can we get an explanation for that one? 8F, as in Frank. Okay, there he is.
Good morning, Council President, council members. Benjamin Guzman, Acting
Good morning.
Finance Director. With this ordinance, we're doing is amending and updating the language in the ordinance itself. Historically, this tourism fee has been collected and managed by the Department of Economic and Housing Development, but the ordinance was reading that it was the tax collector that was collecting and billing it. Due to the fact that this is not strictly a tax or a special improvement tax, more of a fee based on the hotel stay, it is more applicable to be collected and managed by the Department of Economic and Housing Development, which it has in the past. We're just updating the language in the ordinance, that way it reflects that.
All right, thank you, Director. Councilman Silva.
So Ben, Director, just a quick question. So who's going to pay this fee? It's the improvement districts that are going to?
No, this is when an individual stays at a hotel, there's an additional fee added onto the hotel fee as a tourism tax.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the hotel collects that. We will then bill the hotels based on their occupancy. We will then collect that, and then those fees are then used and then forwarded to the tourism district. Obviously, an administration fee will be, deducted from what is collected in order for the city to manage that. And then the remaining balance will then be transferred over to the tourism district.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Director. Next item.
G is an ordinance amending business and occupations records to include persons exempt from toll fees and releases of motor vehicles to include notice requirements for certain vehicles involved in a criminal investigation.
Corp Counsel.
Good morning. Kenyatta Stewart, City of Newark Corporation Counsel. So essentially, what we're doing here is making an amendment to our toll ordinance. Essentially, there's a number of things that have been happening. We get a number of calls on a regular basis to my office for folks who have, unfortunately, they've had their cars towed because of, things that is unrelated to them. Some of them may have been victims of violence. Some may have had to have their car towed because the car was involved in an investigation unrelated to them. So, for example, unfortunately, there's a shooting or there's an incident that took place, and when that happens, a car has to be towed. Folks are calling back to the office saying, "Well, I didn't have nothing to do with it. Why do I have to pay for my car being towed, and it's been towed for a number of days or what have you?" So what this does here is exempts them from paying as well. It also makes the requirement that that we have to notify them within 48 hours of what's going on with the car. So if the cars are part of an investigation, we have to notify the owner to say, "Hey, listen, your car is involved in an investigation. You cannot have your car because you're still taking pictures or DNA or things of that nature." Or if the car is just towed, your car has been towed and is at this specific location. Because as I said, for whatever reason, folks have been having a hard time. There is there's also a requirement that if the car is under investigation, every 15 days, they have to notify the person of where the car, of the status of the investigation. So, we're going to continue to hold your car. We'll contact you in 15 more days because the car's still under investigation. Because sometimes, the police have to do whatever they have to do when it comes to investigations. And we just don't want people to be just laying in the wind trying to figure out what's the status of their car.
Well, I can tell you, I do appreciate this ordinance,
Yeah.
this amendment, because it's through no fault of somebody having to pay fees for a car that was stolen, towed, or something not part of an investigation. This is something that's important, and I think I'm glad to see that. I believe Councilman Quintana, did you want to say something?
Yeah, in terms of, how about the prosecutor, when the car's taken for the prosecutor's office, that car is somewhere for a month or so or two. Is there some cooperation between both?
Yeah, so essentially it
Also make sure that in terms of an
we
investigation.
can't really hear you because
In terms of an investigation by the Attorney General, or that car becomes an evidence to the prosecutor, Essex County prosecutor, and a car goes there and stays a month, does the people get the same to be informed of when is their car going to be released?
So we're going to make sure our public safety folks have a contact with the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, the AG's office, etc. I do want to make sure that we're clear, though. If you are involved in the investigation and your car is towed, you don't get that same treatment.
That's right.
Right. So unfortunately, if your car is towed because you're a defendant or you're subject to what's going on with the investigation, you don't get a freebie. You have to get your car out through the regular process.
Right.
This is for people who are victims of violence, victims of crimes, or people who have no association with the investigation. Yes. I do think it's important. I noticed, at least in my copy, we failed to add the language that says the location of the vehicle. So if through Council President and through Madam Clerk, if we can just add a line, it's in the section 2. Madam Clerk, I'll show you exactly where it is, but it's for the tow or the location of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Corp Counsel, if you could send that to us and show us that
Sure.
to all the council members prior to the meeting so that we
Perfect.
can make that amendment.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Sure.
Councilman,
I'm glad you pointed that out because I was going to bring that up because it is very important for us to realize that this is only in Newark matters. And so if there's a Newark resident that happens to get their vehicle towed in Irvington or Maplewood or something, that we're not engaged in that part. But if it is something that happens in this municipality, unbeknownst to them, on some incidental level, that they should not bear the burden or the fees that are associated with their car being put into an investigation, and should be able to have the respect enough to be updated on where their vehicle is and at what point would the investigation be over that they can go and obtain their vehicle. So I think this is good. I would like to sponsor this because I've been talking a lot about this issue for a period of time with you as well, Corporation Counsel.
for sure. And I mean, to give you some of the dialogue, I mean, some folks have literally called us when they come outside and they have to bring their kids to school. Some people have to go get their kids.
That's right.
Some people are on their way to work and they didn't know that the car had been involved in an investigation, or, things have happened the night before, what have you. So, I mean, it has been a traumatic story that has, passed over and over and over again. And again, police have to do their job. And I don't want
Yes.
anyone to think that we want the police to be stopped or be prohibited from doing their job. But unfortunately, folks wake up to, not knowing anything and trying to figure out how to get the process started. And, most of that comes to my office.
Thank you. Councilman Kelly first.
It's already been answered.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Councilman.
No, it's already been answered.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to ditto Councilman Council because I've dealt with, on some of the incidents and situations I've had to deal with victims of violence, with their cars being, just trying to be helpful, using their car to transport someone, gets their car confiscated, and then the county has to sweep it, and there's a process.
That's right.
And then the person has to wonder, well, I have a disabled child, or I have to get to work. You're going to take my car for 5 days, and then I got to pay for it. So I'm really supporting this, not like the second Councilman Council sponsorship.
Thank you. Anything else from the council?
While we're talking about public safety, I do recognize that we did not notice that the member of public safety representative is actually in the front row. Normally they're right here, so kind of tucked away a little bit. I know there were some questions about public safety earlier, so if the council still has the questions, someone is here to answer.
Let's finish and go back.
Okay.
Next item.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, can we advance and adopt this one first?
So I couldn't.
Advance and adopt on first.
Advance and adopt, okay. I think it was moved by Councilman Council and seconded by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
Duly noted. H is an ordinance to amend solid waste management by amending the time to abate waste, sponsored by Councilman Silva.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. I would like to second this, but there's some things in the reading that I want us to go back and look at. One, I think it should not specify engineering department. It should say the code office, because it gives specificity to who takes ownership of making sure that this information is given. And sometimes different places are housed in different entities. And so code should be directly related in this, or even our sanitation inspectors. Also, there should be a fine structure assessed and not of the small scale. And so, ultimately, we have been fighting over this process of how long we should wait to give people time to abate their properties when there is large amounts of illegal dumping, large amounts of trash and garbage all around the facilities, individuals who are taking garbage cans and filling them up to the top, leave them in front of their front gates, not abating and dealing with these issues. Trying to give them 10 days to abate, and now want to bring it down to 2 days, which I believe is important because of the egregious amount of garbage and debris that not only some of our residents and tenants help to incur, but also some of the ownership of these facilities do not monitor and help to evaluate the situation. And so I think it's important that we look at leveling down the time of abatement and stop allowing folks to get to the courtroom, and make sure that our courts are aware of how important it is to take care of our communities, because many of these people that own some of these facilities don't live in the city. And if you're trying to give them time to abate, they'll never get that time to abate because they don't even follow up with their tenants to make sure that their tenants are keeping the property clean and respectful. And there is going to be some time and pressure, even in this ordinance, that the tenants have to start being responsible for keeping in front of these properties clean and clear. And so if the pressure is going to be on the administration to make sure that they're sweeping the suites, they're picking up trash, they're picking up the bulk, everyone has to be accountable for making sure that we provide a great quality of life, a clean city, across the board, and making sure that we do these things. So, I'm definitely encouraged by, the piece that Councilman Silva's put out. We've talked about it a lot. And at first we wrestled around it and came back. We had a piece in there where we tried to be liberal and give people 10 days to abate. But the fundamental issue is people are not abating these issues in 10 days. And it's putting a lot of pressure on us because we have large amounts of garbage that are out on the street. I mean, dumping, not just garbage, in front of houses, in back of houses, on the sides of streets that's remaining there because we are waiting for a 10-day abatement period until we do something. But in the meantime, the resident has to drive by this, they has to continue to see this, and they're not getting the action that they believe they deserve. And in their mind, they're thinking that the city is dirty and not dealing with it while we're waiting on a legal process of 10 days for someone who did this or someone who could have come in to dump it to abate the issue. And so I think it's paramount that we really look at this and have discussion around how this goes. I see the director snuck up to the microphone.
So wait, let's hear from the sponsor.
Yes.
Before you speak.
Good morning. I agree with Councilman Council. I think that even though Director Redeem and his team are out there working very hard, I know code enforcement's out there. This is just another tool in the toolbox because I think that 10 days was a bit ridiculous to have garbage sit out there. The perception, again, what Councilman Council was saying, how dirty it made the city look. And so after speaking to the BA, thank you, and our clerk, we decided on 2 days would be appropriate to allow owners enough time to abate it, or code enforcement making notifications. They would have 48 hours to abate. And what happened and what led to this was a week, 2 weeks later, after 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, after we had bulk pickup, bulk was still sitting out there. It wasn't going to be picked up because obviously they put out too many pieces, or they put out construction material or electronics, and our DPW is not going to take that. And so it would be just sitting out there for 2-3 weeks. And to me, that it would hold code enforcement powerless for 10 days. They really couldn't do anything. And so this gives us, again, another tool in our toolbox to hold landlords and tenants more accountable.
Thank you. Anything else from the council? Councilman Quintana.
While you're here, I'd like to, the potholes. There is a lot of potholes that need to be. I mean, the car, I got a flat tire last week, and I got a flat tire. This morning, I'm on Prospect coming to the meeting. Between my Prospect and Bloomfield and 2nd Avenue, there's a pothole that is just, so if we could start looking at these potholes, because these are very serious matters. I mean, the car is, the flat tire is a problem, the tear on the car. And again, if we could look into this and fill those potholes as soon as we can and identify them all on the different wards. In terms of the construction, over the weekend, I was walking in the Central Ward and the piles of construction material where these folks, and I've called you before on Clifton Avenue with the same scenario, that people were building and they just throw everything on the weekend, and they were working on a Saturday and putting things on. So we have to be out there on Saturdays too, making sure that we cite these folks.
Thank you, Councilman. Anything else from the council?
Yes,
Councilwoman
To
Scott.
just also mention, and thank you for that, Councilman Quintana. Because also in addition to that, the garbage that lays out there, once the rain came, washed a lot of it into the street. And so then it plugs up the sewers. And so when we were walking around and meeting with residents in the Central Ward, and there are so many different sewers that are now clogged with the trash. And so we were taking pictures and wanted to make sure that we send that to you. So you have one, it starts as one thing is illegal dumping, then the rain comes, then it washes into the street, and then we have all of the other piles. And so it's one thing that turns into another, into another, into another. So we want to make sure that we send that information over to your office so we can make sure that we take care of that for the residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Anything else from the council? All right, Director, there's a lot on your plate you just asked.
So Council President Kareem Adeem, Director, Interim Director, DPW. I'm up here for the ordinance first, and then I'll address that. On the ordinance, we just think with some added language that needs to be in there. If it's deemed immediate hazard by the Department of Public Works, that we can pick it up that day, and it will be hauled away, which the cost will be charged to the residential property owner or commercial property owner. So we're saying if we deem it as immediate hazard, it needs to be picked up that day, and the cost should be immediately charged to the residential property or commercial property owner. Right? We don't want to wait 2 days for something that's immediate hazard. As far as the potholes, we had 3 pothole crews out, right, every day, except Sunday because the plant's not open. Saturday, they're out for part of the day, and we're gratefully going through the wards. And if you call in 4311 reporting a pothole, then we're responding as quick as rapidly as we can. The catch basins, we got 13 street sweepers out. So after the rain events, the street sweepers mainly pick up that stuff that's on top of the catch basin. A couple of those street sweepers got laborers in. If it's too much heavy stuff, they get out and remove the stuff and bag it up. So as we look to work with you and the residents work with us, we'll do the potholes and continue to do what we normally do after rain events with the street sweeper and the water and sewer crews. We visit the hot spots, remove that debris that washes on top of the catch basin, not always on top of the catch basin. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Director.
Council President, council members, we have 4 added starters. First one is Legistar number 26-0353, which is a redevelopment agreement and a companion ordinance, which is 26-0354.
I'm sorry, repeat that one.
26-0353 is the resolution, and the ordinance is 26-0354.
Okay. Deputy Mayor.
Good morning, Council President, council members, Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. The 2 items before you are for one project. The project is the Reimagine Kauaʻita Towers project on Halsey and Central. As the good news is we have a new development team. They are present in chambers, and I'll reference them in a moment. But I did want to give you some background on what happened from the last time we approved this project and what happened today. It'll be brief. Many years ago, probably about 5, we worked on this project and we went through a competitive process to find a developer. Once we selected that developer, shortly after COVID, unfortunately, that development team, Omni, was bought by a New York company. We had worked with that New York company for at least a year to see if we could resolve the issues associated with the project now that a bought company was responsible. Unfortunately, we were not able to get to an agreement. Therefore, we terminated our agreement, and it was a mutual termination that was done, and there was no litigation that was needed. So that's the positive side as far as no litigation. The second positive side is today, as we reimagine it, we have a new development team that is not only going to bring 100% affordable housing, they will also bring rental and home ownership. That is a new element, and we're very excited. The total project will be 32 units, 20 will be rental, and 12 will be condos. And that'll be a really exciting piece for us within our city. In addition, there will also be a ground floor retail space that we are looking for a community grocer to be able to be the party that will be occupying that space. No one has been identified, but that is our goal for the space, is to provide a very low-cost grocer option in our downtown area. At this time, the project again is about $26 million total development costs. What we're asking for you to do today and tomorrow is to review the project and also approve the development team that again is present, and it's Heritage Company and Poema. And they're here. So do you want to stand? So as you can see, they are all here present in chambers. We're excited to be able to bring this to you. And I would say last, in closing, we'll just let you know that the reason why we're asking for an added starter is that there is a Federal Home Loan Bank of New York deadline Friday. And one of the key elements is for the development team to have site control so that they can score high enough to be able to get several $1 million from the Federal Home Loan Bank of New York. And that is the reason why we are asking for it as an added starter today. Happy to answer any questions, and we're happy to provide more information between today and tomorrow as needed.
So let me ask the first question. Are they both resolutions? One is a resolution, one is an ordinance?
Yes, one is a resolution, one is an ordinance,
Okay.
one is the redevelopment agreement, and the other one is the ordinance allowing us to sell, but they're both necessary.
Okay.
That's why they're companions.
And there won't be an issue, even though the deadline is Friday, we won't have completed the ordinance?
We will be able to provide a letter as the development team has requested, saying that the site control is granted at the same time, though it hasn't been closed on. We have done that in the past for other developers who are applying for funding where they need to demonstrate site control, and it has been successful.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the council?
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Councilman, council.
One, I'm excited that it got to this point. We come out of all of that confusion to, really sit down and do something that's meaningful on that corner, and the vision that is supposed to be met is met. But the 100% affordable, the 20 rentals, is that going to be between 30 to 50% AMI, or what number does that look like? And I don't know if you cost out what the 12 condos may be. I know it's probably some long-term financial thing once they figure out what the financial package looks like based on what it is they'll be able to, possibly sell the 12 condos for. But I think that is exciting. It brings a fixture of home ownership into that area with dual rentalship possibilities. But just to find out what the AMIs would be for the 20 apartments.
Yes, the AMI for the whole project will be between 30% of AMI and 80% of AMI. Also like to note that we do have two people within economic and housing development that were instrumental in moving it to this space. One is Amon Clark. She's present in chambers. She has been the lead project manager. And the second is Nana Juma, our chief of staff. And so you will continue to see us as we move forward, and we review the financing request as well.
Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Deputy Mayor, for that explanation and that presentation. I like Councilman Council. I'm very excited. You've answered all the questions that I was going to answer, but I'm really more excited about a vision that didn't just start this year, last year, or even 5 years ago, and that it's going to benefit the community with the 100% affordable. That is a blessing. And then to look out in the audience when people are always talking about different other individuals, that we have people in the audience that, and I'm gonna be very transparent, that really look like the community that are part of this project. And I think that's the nicest way I can put it. I'm excited, I support it, and wherever it's moving, as long as we do it decent and in order, I cannot wait to see the finished project and cut the ribbon if the Lord allows me. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Bay.
Thank you, Council President. I'm especially excited that this is happening in the Central Ward. I'm even more excited that this is a project that is coming from people who are already in community, who understand the needs of the community, and making sure that the people of the Central Ward and the city of Newark get what we've been waiting for and asking for and needed. And so this is something that is really exciting. I'm looking forward to supporting and providing whatever type of support that we need to make sure that this comes to fruition. As Councilwoman Scott Roundtree says, that this is not something new, that this is something that's been in the works for a very long time. And so we are very happy that we've gotten to this point, and we support it, definitely 1000%. Yes.
Thank you.
They want to
Thank you, Councilwoman Bay. Anything else from the
I want to
council?
second
She
that.
said, she said she wanted to sponsor.
And I
Oh,
want to
I didn't hear
second
that. I'm sorry.
And I want to
Sponsored by
second it.
council. Okay, the two fragrances got it. Sponsored by Councilwoman Bay, second by Councilwoman Scott Roundtree. And I'm assuming on both pieces of
Yes,
legislation.
yes.
Councilwoman Bay on both pieces of legislation, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And may I ask, Council President, on the ordinance, could you advance and adopt on first?
Advance and adopt. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else from the council on that one? All right. Next.
Third added starter is file number 26-0360, which is a resolution of support for the Christie Riverfront Project Aspire tax credit issue.
Council President Allison Ladd, Director of Economic and Housing Development. This item is a resolution of need. The project is located at 596-610 Raymond Boulevard. It will be a 5-story multifamily residential development, 56 units, and 40 of them will be market and 10 will be affordable at 50% of AMI. There will be 56 parking spaces as well, so that's 1-for-1 parking based on units and parking spaces. In closing, the reason for it to be an added starter is that the development team is looking to seek Aspire funding, and they have a Friday deadline, March 20th as well.
All right, thank you. Anything else from the council? Councilman?
Yeah, if we can advance and adopt this.
And just
It's a resolution, right? It's a resolution. So it's one reading.
Good.
All right, thanks. Next item?
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
The fourth file is file number 26-0358, which is acceptance of a gift for the State of the City address.
Corporate Council.
Sure, Kenyatta Store, City of Newark Corporation Council. Essentially, as you know, the mayor's State of the City address is March 31st. In between now and then, there's no meetings other than on the week of. We don't necessarily want to do it that fast. We want to make sure that we, have our ducks in a row. The NJ PAC will make sure that we have giving us essentially a gift of $24,000 that covers the expenses when it comes to inside, and then the city is responsible for any additional expenses. We do not expect there to be an exorbitant amount of money at all. It may be double the amount, if that.
And this is no different than we do every year.
Every single year, for years and years and years.
Thank you. Anything from the council? All right, next item.
Public comment? We are in the 30-minute public comment portion of this meeting where each.
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go back, we had a question on one item. Let's do that first. With public safety here, the question was 7R1F, page 10. What was the reason for the increase?
Good morning, Mr. Council President, council members.
Morning.
Deputy Chief Jose Gonzalez, Office of Accountability, Engagement, and Oversight. The Newark Police embarked on a very ambitious project. It started about 3 years ago. We completely changed our radio systems. We went from an analog system to a digital system. That is an expensive, was a big ticket item. All the radios were purchased, radios per each unit for each officer. It's upwards of $10,000, so it's a significant expenditure. However, our needs continue to grow. And as the city continues to grow with all the development in the downtown area, we need additional repeaters so that the communications could be cleared and uninhibited. So that is one of the reasons for that expenditure increase, as it was explained to me, sir.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the council? All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
All right, let's go to public.
We are in the 30-minute public comment portion of this meeting where each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name for our records. Is there anyone wishing to address the council?
I don't know about addressing the council. I'm addressing the people of Newark. So, Munir Boumani, is this a lot to say in 3 minutes? So you said you look into the audience and you see people look like what's from here, right? You just said that about but you didn't look into the audience and see that all those people that stood up, they all your supporters. They all Ras Baraka supporters and cheerleaders. Every last one of them. And that's exactly who's been getting the developments, the projects. You ask any ordinary Newarker who ain't cow down and bow down to you, you all, it ain't happening like that. So knock it off. Then you got Kadeem. He come up here every council meeting and talk about all the issues. Y'all just, is this a ceremonial type of thing that's going on about the filth, the potholes, the water, the this, the that? Is this the same old rhetoric, or it's insanity that y'all don't even hear yourself with the same issues every year since you've been in office? The same issues have gotten even worse under your administration. That's why I'm going to continue to say failed leadership, no other way to describe you. I know you're not running again for election. You got to be out of your mind. 12 more years, 4 more years of you? It's this insanity, people. Insanity. You got $1 billion budget and nothing's in it for Newarkers. Nothing. All that's in it is for your friends and families. And people who come up with the high skirts, like Donna said, shaking their boom booms. That's it. You had the audacity, Raz, to come to a conference and that didn't come with a list of the worst slumlords. And we've been dealing with slumlords since you've been in office. 12 years, and they gotten worse. They unhinged the slumlords in this city, the developers in this city. Everybody's unhinged, even the police. You all are unhinged. Is this an abomination? Is this a travesty if you elect these people back into office, Newarkers?
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker. And as the next speaker comes up, I'm reminded just to say that, we always talk about the negative, but I want to say that I actually think the sanitation did a good job yesterday, overnight, and this morning in terms of picking up recycling and the trash. So we're moving in the right direction. I think we're going to continue to do that. Ms. Bomani, please do not call out. Go ahead.
Let me just state my name once again, because I know y'all all know who I am. It's Danisha Clyburn, and they call me Queen, and that's for Ramos. I thought it was very embarrassing for you to come and take a photo op at the McDonald's and ask my boss if I really worked there, because I come to the council meeting when you seen me before a lot of these people were sitting in the seats. Y'all didn't buy a water or anything to support those babies. I find it really funny that y'all are hijacking a lot of different events because it's election time. Second, Villa Victoria and GKV, Georgia King Village. There's no way that you guys are being contacted and now this hasn't hit the news and this young lady is still living in that same condition with rats and roaches. And I understand how she feels because I went through the same thing in New Community. It's all over the city of Newark. How do you keep approving budgets to build on properties and build more buildings and you not rehabbing the ones that we have to put the community in? I find that very strange, right? If you took a deal to get back in office and you owe somebody something, that has nothing to do with the other 65% of the residents that live in the city. Again, we have a crisis with the homelessness. It's a crisis. I'm tired. When I get home, I can barely look at myself in the mirror because I'm putting constantly people out of the stores at McDonald's, and I'm sure they're in other restaurants, but somehow they just seem to keep falling inside the McDonald's. Yesterday, we had another gentleman that was butt naked. You can ask the 7th precinct, because I had to call them to remove him out of our bathroom. We have children that come there, seniors that come there. Everybody come there besides you guys. I dare you to come there and just have a cup of coffee and see what we see and feel how we feel. It's embarrassing. Our people are not PPE certified to be cleaning behind these conditions of homeless people that have mental illnesses, and we could barely remove them out of the stores. This is an outcry for your help. It's an outcry. I used to wonder why Donna Jackson and the rest of them came up here yelling and screaming, and y'all didn't pay them no attention. I really had to tell myself every time I sign up, Queen, don't go up there. I need you to listen. I need you to go let them hear what you're saying. So I'm hoping you hear again. My name is, so you don't ask again, Ramos, about the young lady, is Danisha, Dannisha, Clyburn, Clyburn. So the next time you address for me, you'll know my name. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Next speaker.
May I?
Councilwoman, no other speakers appearing. Public speaking is now closed. Councilwoman Bay.
Thank you, Council President. I need to address Ms. Clyburn and what you just stated. We have on multiple occasions reached out to you from the first time that you came here to talk to you and try to set up meetings regarding the issues that you have put forth at the McDonald's. We met with you once, Councilman Kelly and I in his office, and since then, I have multiple messages. I have called you, my staff has called you, we have multiple text messages trying to help you and provide the assistance that you said that you wanted. And all of my messages to you have gone unanswered. Every last one, every text message, every voicemail. And we're still trying to help and abate the situation because it's important, and we understand that. But what I'm saying is to you is you need to be fair, because we have reached out and we have tried to and we have addressed it. So to say that that hasn't happened is not true and it's unfair. And also, we can talk about the situation at Villa Victoria, because the young woman that you're referring to, we have put in countless hours, days, weeks to address the situation. I personally paid to put her family up in a hotel to help her. So when I saw that piece on News 12, I was taken aback, because there's always accusing this administration and us here in the council about not being honest, about not being trustworthy, and not being people of integrity, and not being accountable, and not being responsible. And there was none of that in that piece on the news, okay? We had the big meeting at the Newark Symphony Hall, at the Terrace Ballroom. We met with this young woman. I'm not gonna call her name because she didn't present herself out there, so I'm not gonna do that. But we had code enforcement and the building owners in her apartment right after that. She was offered new apartments that she denied and turned down. And we offered assistance to her and her family, okay? We have countless text messages, voicemail messages, all of the receipts for all of the assistance. We didn't do a press conference or any of that because helping and serving is what we're supposed to do. That's what we get paid for. But you need to be fair if you want to report, and it needs to be honest and it needs to be true. And if you're going to tell the story, tell all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Now, we're not going to call out. Come on. Here we do. No. Everybody knows the rules over here. First of all, Councilman Kelly first, and then Councilwoman. And then Councilman Ramos.
Thank you to Councilwoman Bay for that. I just want to address, just like they yell from the audience saying that it's campaign time, a lot of these things are done by people who are running a campaign. And I'm speaking on the GKV incident. Even though it didn't make News 12, it was put all over social media. And the person that it was put over, whose apartment it was, myself and my staff have gave this lady countless services.
Yes.
So we called her. We called her because we were like, why are you doing this when we served you? And she said that she was set up. These are her words. She was crying. She was set up that a person who does not work there but claims he works there brought a candidate at that time to her apartment, this gentleman to her apartment, and he recorded without her knowing it. Now, a lot of times I don't really say too much about these things, but when it just goes over and over and over, that these are not true. Influence is very powerful, but it shapes perspective, right? So we have to let them know a lot of times that what they're seeing in the audience is not true. And just like they say, we're running for campaign, these people are running a campaign. So they're trying to, discredit the services and the work that ourselves, our offices, and this administration is providing.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
To ditto with thank you, Council President and Councilman Kelly. So, we've been doing this for a minute now. I think some of us have been in government for quite a few years. I've only been elected since 2022. But I think here lately, we face more and more pieces of stories that are not accurate. And I've sat here for many meetings in the last 2 years, knowing that there are people out there, as Councilman Kelly has stated, that we have assisted. We didn't go on Facebook, we paid nobody's rent. We didn't go on Facebook and said we kept somebody from being evicted. We didn't go on Facebook and social media and tell people. I don't know whether it's a great idea to highlight the living conditions of an individual without first having the receipt that they were assisted. If Councilwoman Bay paid for the hotel, the next step would probably be, which is what I know Corporation Council, the BA, the mayor, and the council president are doing their best to hold people accountable. Homelessness didn't just meet us this year. The conditions that people are living in didn't just come about when we got in office. Homelessness has been with us since the beginning of time, as well as the conditions. Our assignment, yes, is to hold people accountable for the landlords that they are. And then we have some tenants, God help them, that might have never lived in clean conditions, so it becomes a normal for people to step over homeless people. It becomes normal for people to live in squalor and it's not a normal thing for us. So we've got to start speaking truth to the people and for the people, so it does not look lopsided as if though we're sitting here. We're not allowed to address you while you're speaking, but each of us have an office, and I believe, I don't know, I know my office has been open, my staff is open, I know I can say that for my colleagues, and there's some individuals, I won't call their name, that I've met in the hallway and say, come in my office, let's talk about it. And they'll be like, later, 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 later. So if we offer and you don't come, and there's been not one time, as Councilman Bay has stated and Councilman Kelly, that someone has not called our office, but we can't continue while something is being televised about our public service to have people lie. You can tell your story. That's your story. You can tell your truth. But there's three sides to every story: the truth, your side, my side, and the truth. And we have to be very careful of what we project about other people's lives and what they're going through without making sure that you've given individuals the opportunity. I'm not getting into the campaign conversation because I've been in office all my life without the people electing me. So my appointment came from God as soon as I was able to say, can I help you? And that started at a very early age. So it's not this seat, because my service is not predicated on being elected. My service is predicated, and I believe all of us, I trust God, being appointed to serve all of you who are responsible for us having an assignment in the first place. So when you are addressing us, please make sure that the facts are there. And before you start pointing fingers at us saying what we're not doing, make sure you have our receipts too. And God help those who are living in conditions that the landlords are not doing what they're supposed to do. And yes, we probably should have had a list 50 years ago, but we got one now, and we're going to start acting on it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Ramos.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to follow up on some of the comments that were made. I know we heard a lot of concerns about various McDonald's over the last few council meetings. In particular, some concerns came up regarding the McDonald's that's located on Broadway. For a number of years, since I was a kid, that McDonald's was owned by the Madan family, which owned a number of McDonald's around the city. You know, I reached out to see if that family still owned that location, because we did have a very good relationship with the owner who passed away and his daughter who took over the businesses after he passed. And he would reach out to us on occasion regarding different concerns. We found out that that store was now owned by somebody else. I wanted to meet that owner because we've always had a good relationship with the owner of that establishment. Through a third party, we were able to connect with the new owner. She actually reached out to me and invited me to an event that she hosted to benefit the school, which we heard was creating some issues with some of the kids that were going there. I brought the captain of the precinct on site, and I explained to her that I wanted to make sure that we were being responsive to some of the concerns that we heard at the council meetings. And she asked me where those concerns came from, and I explained to her that we did hear from one of the employees from the corporation. And I always like to have a direct relationship with ownership. So if they have any issues and concerns, they can reach out to me directly. And as I do with other business owners and residents and constituents, we try to be as helpful as possible. And as far as our support of Luis Munoz Marin School is a school that we do a lot of stuff for that school directly. The principal there is one of our best principals, and we try to be as supportive as possible. That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Anything else from the council? Very short, Corp Council. Is Mr. Waldrop here?
Yes, he was. He's in the back.
He's here. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay.
Council President, Kenyatta Store, City of Newark Corporation Council. I just want to address two issues. The first one in reference to Georgia King Village. 2 weeks ago, on a Friday, I think it was about 6 o'clock, Councilman Kelly invited us to a community meeting. Myself, the mayor, a number of people from our office, a number of people from Code, and different people throughout the administration went to the meeting. I will say that I was surprised the meeting was packed on a Friday evening. With a number of people who live there. There were a number of concerns that they wanted us to address the management was there, and we were able to at least start a dialogue with the new management. The new ownership was there. One of the main issues, of course, started off with was the heat issues, which we have in court now. I actually will tell you today that as late as yesterday, Ham from the code enforcement department has been sending me pictures of him being in the location, making sure that the heating is appropriate. One of the reasons why the case has been going on so long is because they were claiming that the heat was 100% good. And while I was there, I literally asked the folks, is your heat, if there's still issues with your heat? And folks raised their hands. We took their information, and Inspector Him has been going there ever since. We're expected to go back to court, I believe, this Friday. The other issue that they had there was the issue with towing. Some inconsistency when it comes to towing. There was some questions as to if it was predatory towing and things of that nature. Some folks were talking about the towing of ride share or like food delivery folks. Some folks were talking about towing when it comes to their own vehicles. So we are in the process of dealing with tow issues. As you see now, we are already dealing with a number of tow issues when it comes to police involved issues. Now we're going to deal with property owned towing issues. The other issue we had was there was an issue with communication. We recognized that the management had not been communicating properly with the residents there. So as a result, the management, to their credit, they had a magnet, if I may, with new information, new phone numbers, new emails, new contact people. I called it at that point. Nobody answered. I will tell you that on my way home that night, somebody called me back. So I'm gonna give them a little credit for that. The other thing was there was a question as to who works here. There was, a number of individuals that were in question as to if those people work, and the people were actually in the crowd, and the management confirmed and the ownership confirmed this person doesn't work here, this person does. But the recommendation that we made was that they create laminated badges and uniforms for their employees. I will follow up with them this Friday. They said they were going to work on it. Hopefully, it's happening before I get to it. So my point is, I know there has been a long history of Georgia King with this council, with the tax abatement unit, and a bunch of other things. But it looks like things are at least moving in the right direction. We are not there now. We're not there yet, but like I said, we are moving in the right direction. Maybe small steps in the right direction. I also want to just address this comment that was made in reference to the folks that's going to be involved with the project that we have here. To hear that folks are saying that the reason why these folks had an opportunity because they bowed down to the administration. Now, you know what? How you want to reference it, you want to reference it. But I will say that the reason why I am addressing this is because one of our issues that we
Ms.
have
Bomani.
here is that she's leaving. It's fine.
Thank you for leaving.
Yeah. One of the reasons why I thought it was important is because over and over and over again, I've heard people say people who are getting an opportunity are not from the city. These folks are from the city. These folks have credibility of doing this work in the city. They're going to add a fresh grocer with reduced prices. We've been talking about food issues. They're going to add that as an opportunity as well, right? So, some of the issues that we talk about on a regular basis are happening here. And now we're saying that the folks who are getting the opportunity because they bowed down. It sounds like the folks who are getting the opportunity are folks who say, listen, I have an idea. I spoke to EHD. I want to be a part of the project. This is what I can do for the city. Right. And I just think that, when we characterize it as like folks who are bowing down to the city council or to the administration, it tries to spoil you, or more importantly, takes away the credit of those people who want to do what's right for the city. So like I said, I couldn't sit there and just hear it because I don't think it's fair to us. But more importantly, I don't think it's fair to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Court Counsel. Two quick things. One, Mr. Waldrop is going to come up and speak very briefly, give us a briefing on World Cup activities. World Cup. Yeah. And as he comes up, I just want to mention, and this has been discussed in the council meeting by Councilman Ramos, and I think a number of us have received complaints about the handicap parking issue, where signs have been removed, or there have been issues in terms of renewal. And let me say, in the conversation with the council members and the administration, any handicap parking individuals who are requiring handicap parking for renewals, those signs will remain, and if they have been taken down, they will be put back up. And that's specifically dealing with the renewals right now, not with any new applications. But so I want to thank the administration and the council members for all working together, and the mayor, and to help make that happen, and thank the business administrator, because that's been a concern for a number of us, and we've expressed that. And we want to make sure that our residents that are handicapped are provided with safe and secure access to their homes.
And Mr. President.
Councilman Ramos.
I just want to say thank you to the BA for his leadership on this. And if we can get a letter attesting to this, because right now we have a bunch of cases that we got to follow up. My office, I just got a call this morning. There's a young lady, she's an adult already. I've known her since she was a child, and she has a specialty van that they park in front of her house because she's severely, disabled and has been from birth, and they denied, actually, they're looking to take away her handicap parking sign. So she lives on Clifton Avenue. Her mother calls me every day because obviously, she can't move around without access to that vehicle.
Thank you. Councilman Kelly.
Thank you, Council President. Real quick, I just want to thank the BA too. I know I have called his office, and we have a bunch of cases, but one in particular that hit us yesterday was a blind woman in the West Ward who called me hysterical that they just took her handicap permit from her, and she's blind. So I made sure that my office has made a list of all of those people who handicap signs and handicap permits have been taken from them, so that we can address them, and hopefully they fall in under the grandfathered in. And we definitely need to go case by case with it. But thank you.
And I think we should continue, Mr. BA, if we get a new. Go ahead.
So,
while you're getting up there, Councilwoman Scott Roundtree.
so I heard what Councilman Kelly stated, and I do know that the BA has something prayerfully he's going to share with us, and I pray it's good news, because I also have a list of individuals. And what's happening is there's an individual that has a severe heart condition that's a paraplegic, and that individual called me yesterday saying that they took his sign down. So can you just explain about how the signs will, whatever's going on with this process, please?
Sure. Eric Pennington, Business Administrator. With respect to the handicap parking, this decision actually came from the mayor's office. The mayor spoke to me directly and said that he's gotten complaints from individuals. I think I've gotten a request from every council member about handicap parking in the last few months, as has the mayor's office, and he directed me to look into this. I just want to give 30 seconds as to how this came about. The federal government imposed a new restriction on handicap parking spaces that said they can't be an obstruction. That includes trees and other items, signs and things that may be where the space was. We are now, and I've spoken to the engineering director, Mr. Adams, about this, and we are looking into whether or not there are exceptions for existing spaces. It's going to take us a little while to do some research. While we do this research, and while it's pending, I've instructed engineering to put the signs back, to not disallow any of these handicapped spaces until we get this resolved. It is my expectation that these otherwise qualified handicap parking spaces will remain, and they'll be grandfathered. That is not finalized yet, but I expect that that'll be what will happen. While we're looking at this, all signs will be put back. We're not going to deny existing handicap spaces that have been changed because of this reason. Now, we're going to get a plethora of requests for handicap spaces that don't fall into this category. We're going to get a whole bunch of requests that say, my neighbor had a space, I used to have a space, I want my space back. Those spaces, we are not going to grandfather in. We're not going to approve those unless, of course, it's warranted. I am not opposed to looking at these applications on a case-by-case basis on an appeal, and will do so. That has been my practice and policy for the last 5 years. I will continue that, but this is a blanket reversal of those spaces that have been removed because of this new legislation. We're going to change that immediately.
That's great news.
Thank you. Somebody say something?
Great news.
Okay, thank you, Mr. B.A. All right, Mr. Waldrop, and we're going to, I hate to rush you, but you know, we do have to go upstairs. You got a lot of papers in your hand.
Melvin.
And maybe, and I'll say this, maybe, you know, give us a brief one and we'll come back at a later date and do a more thorough discussion.
Yes, Melvin Waldrop, Chief of Staff, Office of the Business Administrator. As you're aware, we will be hosting the World Cup starting in June. There are a total of 104 matches. 8 of those matches will be played in MetLife Stadium. The first match will be on the 13th, which is the Saturday of the Portuguese Festival, and the last match will be the championship match, will be played on the 19th of July. Tremendous opportunity for the city. They're estimating that there will be a $1.7 billion spend associated with this event throughout the New Jersey, our metropolitan area. Our objective is to get as many of those dollars in the city of Newark as possible through our hoteliers, through our restaurants, and through our local businesses and vendors. A major event that will be coming up on the 24th is what is referred to as a major fan fest. Newark has been designated as a flag city, and we have a major fan fest associated with that on the 24th of June. It will be held in Mulberry Park. Right now, the estimate is anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 people. Don't know whether or not that will be realized, but if it does, it's a major event that we'll be holding in our city. So we're planning for that. And again, it will bring a lot of people into the city, bring a lot of vendors into the city. And again, our Newark vendors will be given priority for that event. There are a lot of other activities that are being planned. Ironbound, of course, a lot of activity will be going on there with the restaurants and throughout other areas of our city. I've heard from organizers in the West Ward. We're also looking at putting together skills and drills for our youth to get them more involved in soccer. Doing this event. City Director Redding there, he's leading that, and I believe that we have an opportunity or meeting on tomorrow, bringing together the different organizations in order to to pull that off.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Waldrop, just a quick question. If somebody, one of our local businesses wants to participate or find a way to participate in whatever World Cup activities, right, is there in the city of Newark, is there a contact name, number that they could reach out to?
Yes, there is, and I'll give you, it's a website that they can go to. And again, I don't want to be derelict in terms of mentioning our partners. Newark Alliance and Invest Newark are heavily involved with this, as well as our departments in terms of helping to resource a lot of these events. But the contact or the website that they can go to is www.newarkhappening.com, FIFA, FIFA 2026. www.newarkhappening.com/FIFA 2026. On there, they will find a toolkit that will explain to them how they can get involved with the activities associated with the World Cup.
And is this, I'm gonna come to you, is this information being disseminated in the community so that they're aware of, or how is this being broadcast?
Well,
sent out?
The mayor kicked off the planning for this on February 10th with stakeholders from throughout the city, organizations, hoteliers, restaurateurs, and I've been fielding calls, I guess daily almost, from various organizations that are interested in being part of this. I've met with different organizations that are interested in being part of this. And again, Newark Alliance Invest Newark will be pushing out more information over the next couple of weeks, probably within 10 to 15 day time frame.
All right, thank you. Councilman Quintana.
I'd like to meet with you maybe after the meeting. I know Panini is the largest company in terms of when it comes to FIFA.
Mhm.
They're going to be going with their mobile unit around different locations. I'd like to include them coming to Newark. I will give you the reps number, who is the person who represents the Northeast Corridor. Benini is a company that does the books, the stickers. It is a large company which is a sponsor of the FIFA's World Cup. But my friend happens to be involved with it, and he would like to meet with someone and representatives from Panini. Panini is the largest of the all the mobilias are come through Panini. Things are not sold without Panini. That they have the rights, and they're a company here in the United States. They're the largest producer of cards, of soccer, and basketball and other sports, and baseball. So again, we need to include them, because what happens is you can have vendors that can really put tables, and Newarkers who could take advantage of putting tables with cards and memorabilia and give them an opportunity to make some money too. So I would like us to meet with the Panini representatives.
I would be happy to do that.
I would
Councilman.
give you the number
Yes.
once we leave here.
Yes,
So
I'll be happy to do that. Again, we want to promote this aggressively and ensure that our people are involved in terms of taking advantage of the economy that this will represent, for our area.
and they have a portable. They're bringing a mobile unit that is huge. Also, we should engage with one of all the sponsors of the World Cup, which happens to be Goya Foods.
Right. They are
So-
sponsoring. Just by the way, they're
And-
sponsoring.
Right.
Us as a flagship city.
Well, their government rep, we're gonna be honoring Goya in April here at the council chambers. It'll be 90 years of the company.
Mhm.
A company started out in Puerto Rico, and the company's in Secaucus, now in Jersey City.
Right.
So again, we need to take advantage of that, because what they're doing with Midlife Stadium is that they're making sure that there's participation on vendors selling foods out in the area around the stadium. So if we can also invite them to, I will give you their personal numbers.
Okay. Be happy to consult with them.
I mean, Newarkers need an opportunity.
It's a terrific, terrific
Look,
opportunity.
it's great
for
to
us.
bring people to Newark. When the people of the city don't
Well-
benefit,
well,
it
we-
doesn't matter. To me, what matters is the people of the city
Yeah.
that benefit.
Could not agree more.
Absolutely.
Just let me say very, very briefly, again,
Okay.
Newark is welcoming the world because of our diversity, we see ourselves as the world. And again, this will be bringing people from around the globe to the city of Newark.
Mr.
All
President.
right, thank you. Councilman Ramos.
Yeah, just one quick thing. I know it's exciting for the region that we're hosting the World Cup here in New Jersey. My concern is like some of the potential quality of life issues that emerge. I know Airbnb is making a huge push to even give property owners bonuses so that they can put properties online, because there seems to be a shortage. Newark is in close proximity to MetLife Stadium. Have we, as it is right now, there's a lot of Airbnb abuses in Newark. Last week we had a fire on Mount Prospect Avenue in a building that I believe like a year ago was probably condemned because of code enforcement issues. And that apartment that had was the source of the fire was being rented through Airbnb, and I don't even know if they were legally registered with the city. So how do we plan on keeping tabs of that and making sure that these kinds of rentals don't create nuisances in the neighborhoods, right? Because you can imagine how many thousands of people are going to be looking to rent Airbnb in Newark, rent one-family houses, especially houses with pools and backyards, and some of this stuff can get a little bit crazy, and we want to make sure we're keeping a handle on that.
That's a very good question, Councilman Ramos, and it was one that I started thinking about after thinking about the reservations in our hotels, because again I realized there was going to be some overflow into the Airbnbs, and so we have in the Department of Engineering we have a registration of all of the Airbnbs in the city. So I'll be working with I believe it's Deputy Director Concepcion to look at where we have Airbnbs, and to the extent that we can to determine where that activity is going to be taking place so that we can monitor it. And secondly, to the extent inspections and things of that nature are needed to make sure that those Airbnbs are in the conditions that they need to be in order to welcome the people here for the World Cup.
How about is the police division going to have more manpower on those days? Like, how's that going to work? You could essentially end up with additional costs for service, right? If
Yes.
you allow bars and taverns to extend their hours of operation, like there's going to be thousands of visitors that are going to be in the city of Newark staying at hotels, Airbnbs. Like, how do we handle that from a public safety standpoint?
Well, first and foremost, we have to know where that population is going to be, and we have to have a plan to resource that. And again, I'm in discussion with the Department of Public Safety to look at those kinds of issues.
Are there any resources? I know the state had planned to spend millions of dollars out of the governor's office to kind of organize this. I'm glad the new governor decided to decentralize it.
Right.
And Newark was picked as one of the staging areas for activity.
Flag City.
Yeah. Is there any money coming to us to offset some of the municipal costs potentially?
Well, we hope there will be, based on what I've read. NJ EDA is supposed to have, I think, a budget of around $5 million that is supposed to get distributed to the different, flag, cities. I don't know what the process is for that right now. I've been in discussions with Newark Alliance. They are not aware of what that process is right now. But hopefully, given that we are a flag city and kind of at the epicenter of the World Cup, that some of those resources will be coming to the city of Newark in order for us to defray the costs that we will incur in supporting this event.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, real quick, Mr. Waldrop, who is going to have the discussion or meetings with all of our hotel proprietors to monitor the intake of the amount of folks that may be coming in here, and also monitoring the dollar that drops as it relates to hotel taxes that's been just got up and talked about, which is a very important thing because we have to have something in place to know that we will get our fair share from it.
Well, that will be the responsibility of Newark Alliance. And again, like I said, it's a very good question, because we expect that our hotels will be booked to capacity. In fact, the other day I had an opportunity to talk to one of the hoteliers, and they told me that right now they only have a few reservations left for the month of June and July. But in terms of tracking what goes into the hotels with respect to dollars, that will be the responsibility of finance. And we will also, through Newark Alliance, have certain metrics that we'll be looking at to determine what kind of impact this had on the city of Newark. I mean, one of the things we'll be looking at is, okay, what was it before? Let's say, for example, we compare last year, okay, during this period, June, July, to 2026, June and July, then that will give us some indication of what this event meant to the city of Newark, particularly our hoteliers.
Thank you. Councilwoman Day.
Thank you, Council President. One more question regarding the businesses. Is there a plan already in place, and if so, we can get information on it, to incorporate the local restaurants and everything to make sure that they get information, that they're incorporated into whatever plan comes about as far as to be able to serve all of these visitors that we hope will be coming through our city, and so they can plan accordingly and maximize on this opportunity?
Yes, Councilwoman Bay. There is, again, that will be a twofold effort. On the one hand, that will be Newark Alliance, which has that as part of their charter, so to speak, and also that will be part of Invest Newark. Invest Newark will be, I think, sending out within the next 10 days a website that people, or an invite that people will be getting to go and look at what they can do in order to prepare themselves to service, the thousands of people, that will be coming in. But again, we'll be working very, very closely with the, restaurateurs to make sure that they are prepared to take advantage of this business. And just let me say this. I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead. All right.
Oh, no, he has to tell me to speak. You go ahead.
Okay, so just let me say this. Again, we have events that come to the city of Newark, and they just come to the city of Newark and they go. Okay, we don't want this to be a one-off event.
You mean like the Super Bowl? You mean like the Super Bowl?
Well, Super Bowl, NCAA. Okay, but again, we don't want this to be a one-off event. We want to use this event in order to sell Newark for future investments, future tourism opportunities, okay? So it's important that our restaurants be involved, that they be prepared to provide good service to the people that are coming in here. The same thing with our hotels. It's important how the city looks. We're working on that as well. We have a infrastructure and beautification committee that's looking at how we can better prepare our downtown to welcome these visitors, so that someone may look at what we have going on downtown and see this as an investment opportunity for them. So we want to leverage all of that.
Councilwoman Scott Brown.
Thank you, Council President. So there are many components to what's getting ready to happen in June, even the things that are already regularly happening in the city, different festivals between June, the date this begins, and July 19th.
Yes.
There's so many components, and we as council members should be aware of all of the components and making sure everybody's at the table. I just heard you say Invest Newark. I do know Newark Happening is involved. I do know the Newark Alliance is involved, but there's been a couple of meetings that Invest Newark, I don't think, has sent a representative to yet. So just to make sure that the messaging is going out correctly to those who are involved or that need to be involved and aware of what's going on throughout the city, or bringing people in from their different wards to be a part. I know my Councilman Silva has something to add, so I'm going to step back, but everybody needs to be aware of how we're moving forward. June is like yesterday. It is already knocking at the door, and we don't want to come running to the table at the last minute with the other wards, knowing that whatever happens downtown is going to spill over into other parts, especially the Central Ward.
Again, I'm available to attend any meetings that may be held.
We just need to know they're happening.
In the ward, I need to know that they're happening. Again, I've attended meetings down in the East Ward. I've had discussions with a representative in the West Ward, but I need to know that they're happening, and I will make myself available.
Thank you. Councilman Silva?
Yeah, every Monday I host a meeting. Councilwoman came yesterday to the meeting. It started out with about a dozen people, and now it's up to like 40, and I anticipate it to grow from there. These meetings are going to continue every Monday regarding the World Cup in the East Ward, but we are here to make sure Newark shines, not just the East Ward. We bring a different approach because obviously the East Ward has Brazilians and Spain and Portugal and Ecuador and all these cultures that exist there. And I had a meeting this morning with World Cup officials just before I came to this meeting, and I believe Newark has a tremendous opportunity here. The entire city has a tremendous opportunity. I believe, like Councilwoman says, we're behind a little bit. We need to start catching up because June 8th will be here before you know it, the first game, and we need to start coordinating. At these meetings that I have Newark Alliance. Melvin, you attended one of the meetings as well. I had University Hospital yesterday, Newark Police. So I have different entities that will be part of these events. I'll get DPW out there as well eventually, and Invest Newark. But again, I think we have an opportunity here. You have a big soccer fan sitting right there, who's your boss and my boss, and we have an opportunity to put Newark on the map regarding people are going to see things here that I don't believe the other fan fests or the other events are going to be able to compete with us. So again, I hope to work closely with you, the business administrator, the mayor, and the rest of my council colleagues to make sure that for those 35, 39 days, we put on a great show.
Right. And just let me say, Councilman, what's important for us in order to resource this event is to know everything that's going on in the city, okay? We're not, just going to try to resource what's going on in East Ward or the West Ward or the North Ward. What we want to do is to look at everything that's going to be going on and determine how we can support that with the resources that we have. In conjunction with that, and I know your people are probably aware of this because I made it known at the meeting that I attended. If you're doing something, particularly around the event, I would like to have your applications in to my office no later than March 31st so that we can begin to plan the resourcing of those events. That is critical. We need to know what we're going to be looking at for this event.
Thank you, Councilman Ramos.
Yeah, real quick, Council President, and as far as like the youth soccer organizations, can your office just make sure that, I know Ironbound, they've been very involved. I got Just One Soccer in the North Ward. They got over 1,000 kids who play in that league. There needs to be some equity in all the youth soccer groups having access to the benefits of the World Cup. So can you reach out to like the folks from Just One, make sure that they're involved in this too?
Already had a discussion with Just One.
Thank you.
Referred Just One to Director Redding, and again, we'll be having that discussion on tomorrow.
All right, thank you. All right, council members. Motion for executive session. Roll call, I'm sorry.
Councilwoman Bay? Yes. Council?
Yes.
Gonzalez absent. Kelly?
Yes.
Quintana? Ramos? Scott Roundtree?
Yes.
Silva?
Yes.
President Plum?
Yes. Real quick. Okay, never.
Eric, don't leave.